Nice little quick overviews. Starting with helium. Been watching this one for a while. I'd like to show this relatively locally kind of bearish count, but will propel us to much higher. Clearly we have a 5-wave move here, an impulse to complete our wave 1, most likely. And then from here, we're looking at an ABC into our first W, another ABC, running flat into our X, and we most likely would look for one more zigzag in our Y, probably another ABC, and take us down to this really key level that this coin seems to have been avoiding forever. It's the $5 range, which contains our 0.5 fib retracement for this larger wave 2 in blue. It also contains a monthly level. Obviously, it's our last previous zone of consolidation, as well as our 1.236 extension of our wave W, which is a nice target for a wave Y. Wave Y does not have to come down here. This is just one scenario. Wave Y can end up in a triangle or any other type of pattern that we don't know yet. It would be nice to see this coin come down to $5 though. If it doesn't, I'll show you what we're looking at here instead. Let me hop over the Coinbase chart. I think I have it up. Yeah, here we go. So let me delete some of this stuff real quick. Here's an alternate scenario I have for helium. In blue here, in our 5-wave impulse to create, which could be a 1, 2, 3 off the lows, but just judging by this tiny 2 down here in relation to what is already this 4, it just doesn't look right anymore at this point. So instead, this is the primary. So we are looking for this to be complete here. Let me remove some of this stuff. And yes, so here we have our wave 2 complete as a W, as an X, as a Y, as an X, as a Z, for a W, X, Y, X, Z correction down for our wave 2. Now, if you note, if I hide this channel, we are also in this bigger channel. Clearly touch support. Now, we may front run this $5 range. There is a lot of heavy support there, a lot of common targets. If this is a wave 2, we will have front ran it. Now, what would we be looking for from here to make this confirmed? We would be looking for a double 1-2 pattern. There's our first 1-2. And this would be our second 1-2. Let me change these around real quick. All right. So yeah, you have your first 1-2 here. Can end here, can end here. Doesn't really matter. If it ends there, you can see we have a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for what would be our wave 1. Into We have to hold this low here if this is going to be a double 1-2 scenario, or most likely the bearish scenario plays out. And from there, you would just look for a lot higher prices in a double 1-2. You'd look for that 3, you'd look for that 4 and 5, and keep trudging up. Let's take a quick look at helium divided by Bitcoin. You can see we are coming down now to very key support on the chart. We want to hit this range again down here on Bitcoin. Doesn't mean the price needs to go down, just means Bitcoin needs to go up. And that's what it's doing right now as you see this drop and price is stalling sideways. So Bitcoin can continue to go up and this can continue to go down while price on the United States value holds and then we bounce. That would be most likely the double 1-2 scenario I just showed you. Let's take a look at Arweave. This coin, as you can tell, I put a lot of detail into this. It looks amazing. Arweave. Just zooming out real quick, you can see we have our large 1-2 cycle degree. And from there we have created this cycles 1 into what looks to be just finishing our wave 2. Now, if you were to project this as a classic impulse, it wouldn't really work because the wave 3 targets are just way too high. And this coin put in its initial wave 1 and a very long wave 2 much later, well, a lot later than a lot of other coins. So we would not be looking for a classic impulse here, but we still would be looking for a 5-wave impulse. As you can see here, most likely in some type of triangle pattern, respecting this channel as well. Come up in 5 waves here, contract into 4 into 5. I'm expecting anywhere between $250 to $170 on Arweave. Nice and simple, looks beautiful. I think we are in the beginnings of wave 3. Let's take a look at GRT, the graph. In my previous video on this, a lot has changed due to the circumstances we were in down here, which was very confusing. I have since worked that out. Same thing across the board. 1-2 in orange, looking for that wave 3 in orange, minimum 27 cents. We can go straight up there, or we can create another 1-2. That's why I have this here in white. But yeah, looking for this wave 3 target minimum at least. Pull back in 5, pull back in 4, come up in 5. And interestingly about this count, I believe we would make an A rather than a 1. Now let me zoom out and show why. The best way to count this, these are all 3 waves. 3, 3, and our corrections down are a mix of 3-wave patterns, W, X, Y, X, Z, and here we have another W, X, Y, X, Z. So 3, 3, 3, 3. We're looking for 3 to finish, and this is what is known as an expanding diagonal. Already tracking, already looks great. Target for your 3 perfectly respected Targets for year 4 perfectly respected, 1.236. And for our wave 5, an expanding diagonal, it's the most explosive wave, with your targets between the 1.236 at a minimum to the 1.618. So we're looking for $1 to $2.3, and that will play out as an ABC, as a 3-wave pattern. So as you can see, we have our 5 here in our A, pull back for our 3 in B, and get another 5 waves in our C. Exactly what you saw here in this wave 3. We had a 5, we had a 3, we had a 5. This one will just be a lot bigger. A lot more volume, a lot more price action. Looks great. Let's see here. One more coin really quick. Let's take a look at Jupiter. Newer coin. Big wave 1, retraced to this 0.66 for our wave 2. Simple looking. This does not matter at the moment. It's some type of WXYXZ, as with everything else. We're looking at the development since then. We have a double 1-2 setup. Looking for that wave 3 at 1.7 at least. This will develop into a 1, into a 2, and so on. Looking for $7 at a minimum, probably 10 to 12 at a maximum. Very simple, doesn't really need much more explanation. Let's do one more really quick. We'll do Metis. I think it's an interesting one. So it's actually the Ethereum founder's mother's coin, which is interesting. We have a 1-2 here for our previous cycle. 1-2. Let's come down here to what we have developed recently. So we created our initial wave 1 in blue, and just like every other coin, same pattern across the board, the WXYXZ to complete our 2. We do have a 1-2 here. I just don't have it labeled, so I was focusing more on the recent developments. A little bit more detail on this one, because I am looking for an entry. If we come down here, we either are putting in our 5 now in yellow, or very locally we need one more high for another 5. This could also be a type of sideways triangle consolidation for our wave 2. We don't really get a retracement here. Anyway, zooming out, same thing across the board. Well, let's go down to the daily. Super locally, we're looking for $74 to $78 for our wave 3 here in white. We'll chug up, we'll make a 4 and a 5, which I'll just put it on the chart for you guys. Which will make our blue wave 3, 4, 5, create a large 1. Quick price targets. Looking for $1,000 minimum up to 5,000. Mainly looking for this blue wave 3, which has legitimate targets between 2 and 3,000. So that is my minimum for this cycle, and we expect to make a blue wave 5 after that, most likely just clipping above it up to 5,000. I would say 2 to 3,000 is very reasonable. Thank you.